The only thing between the man I am and the man I want to be is the man I had to become. My name's Laurence and I'm a men's personal development specialist with over 2 decades of working specifically with men on what is often called the doing the work journey. Doing the work being a euphemism for the men's personal development journey. During that time, which has consisted of thousands of hours with thousands of men in either individual or group settings, I've come to the profound realization what we're working with is the fact that men lead 2 lives. The first life, the first half of our life, tends to be about us going out into the world and proving our confidence and competence. It's about us going out and answering a very simple question that was posed very early on. A question like, how do I escape this situation? How do I make my parents proud? How do I let the world know I'm here? How do I get love and affection? How do I get stability and safety? These questions get posed by our environment very early on, and then we spend that first half of our life, or up until now, trying to answer that question. But what happens is, along the way, we hit various different traumatic events, and the definition I use of trauma is any event where I am not physically, intellectually, emotionally, or spiritually equipped to be able to overcome that situation. So what happens in those moments is life makes sense. There's this event or situation and life doesn't make sense anymore. Now we have the biggest problem solving machine in the world between our ears, and its sole job is to make sure that the world makes sense so that we know how to function in it. So in these traumatic moments, what happens is we have to make up a new set of beliefs so that the world makes sense, and then we have to come up with a new strategy so we can survive in that new world. So for example, say a traumatic event is we get bullied at school. We might then have to suddenly believe that the world is a dangerous place and people will victimize us and exploit us if possible. So based on that belief that the world now makes sense, that's why this is happening to me, based on that we need to make up a new strategy. I'm going to be so big that no one ever fucks with me, or I'm going to be so small, so studious and in the background that people won't even see me or might even need me, and then I'll get left alone. So we come up with that new strategy. So we have new beliefs, new strategies. Remembering that this machine called our brain that wants to make the world make sense, needs to make the world make sense, we then create what's called a schema. And that schema is a filter that we look at reality through, which backs up our beliefs and strategy, which proves that we're right. If the world is a dangerous place, I often see the evidence that makes it a dangerous place. If I believe the world is a place full of opportunity and growth, I will see opportunities and possibilities and potential places to grow. Aeneas Nin sums this up perfectly when she says, I do not see the world as it is, I see it as I am. We live our life that way, and at some point we stop. If we're lucky, we stop. Some people call that pause a midlife crisis. Some people call it an existential crisis. I call it an opportunity. I think of it as a natural pause for us to look and go, right, that was that part of my life. How's that working out for me so far? Now we may look around and our beliefs, our strategies, our schemas have served us really well. And I look around, I've got lots of success, whether that be monetary or connection. I have people around me. I've achieved some things. I'm respected, but somehow I feel like I'm not the man I could have been. And that's because of all of those traumatic events, we bend ourselves into different shapes to get affection or not to be rejected. And we come to a stage where we don't even know what shape we could have been. So even if it's working out for us, somewhere deep inside we know we are not the man that we could be. Or maybe we look around and it hasn't been a success. Maybe the strategies we've learned, the schemas we have, the beliefs we hold have meant that we haven't built anything else. We haven't built anything that we're proud of. Then we look forward to the rest of our life and go, is this just going to be more of the same, a life unlived? Either way, deep down inside, we know we are not showing up as the fathers, the sons, the brothers, the entrepreneurs, the businessmen, the artists, the beacons of light to the world that we could be if we hadn't had to change our shape. And we know deep inside that somehow we're not giving the gifts we could give to ourselves, to our families, to our communities, and indeed to the world. And that starts a new journey. That's when we become seekers. And that's when we start doing the work, i.e. entering the world of men's personal development. I've been immersed in that world for 20 years, over 20 years. and not through inspiration, through desperation. I needed to change my life. I needed to find things in there. I was seeking for hope. I was seeking for tools. I was seeking for knowledge that would improve my life. I have failed publicly. I have fucked things up. I have been an alcoholic. I had to change my life. And I built my life, rebuilt my life into something I am massively, massively proud of, and brings me a lot of connection, challenge, contribution and celebration. But I had to pick all those tools from all different places. You know, I got frustrated with how all the really useful stuff was hidden. There's great facilitators, great programs, great books, great ideas, great models, but often hidden behind intellectualism or behind expensive paywalls or behind some sort of Lord of the Rings branding that just didn't work for me. But I needed it, so I pieced something together. I kept going 20 years and I found a simple process. I invented bits, I reinvented bits, I changed bits, I changed the sequence, I pulled bits from here, I pulled pieces to there, and I came up with an approach that worked, that brought real results into my life and was simple to understand and simple to implement. Now note I said simple and not easy. Nothing about the work is easy, don't let people fool you. I really hope this second stage of your life works out for you. And it will, if you find connection, if you find healthy challenge, if you find ways to contribute, and if you find ways to celebrate. Keep connected, keep doing the work. See you soon. Take care.